Okay. So I was watching Mike Rowe on Fox News, and I really shouldn't do that. So now we have to talk about it. Basically, I don't disagree with him entirely, but the thing that Mike Rowe fails to realize is that this new generation of people have made decisions about their life. The reason that, employment is at 62% right now is literally because there's a bunch of people that you abused over the last couple of years that decided to take some time off. Okay, for one reason or another, you made it to where the people that you depended on for your very lives had enough money to walk away. It's a lot of it. And some of those people are just figuring out what they're going to do next. Some of those people are fucking never coming back. Mike Rose said that there's an excessive opportunity in America. Let's talk about that. No, there is not. If you mean excessive opportunity, are there a lot of jobs? Yes, there are. Okay. But I would put it to you that we have a lot of jobs in America the same way that there were a lot of jobs in America in the 1880s. Just because there are a lot of jobs does not mean that there's opportunity. In order for the job to provide opportunity, the wages must be exchangeable for something that the employee actually wants. I mean, there's a bunch of cheap Chinese crap, bunch of electronics. I don't think that's what most of these people want. This is the major misunderstanding is everybody thinks that we live in the 21st century and shit's different. Well, I hate to tell you this, but the 21st century is going to look a lot more like the 18th or 19th century than it is like the 20th. Like we're headed for some bad shit. This is part of it. We have a disagreement in this country between the rich and the poor about how much work the poor are supposed to do in their society to create the society in which the rich feed off of. That's really what it is. And Mike Rowe, I would consider to be amongst the rich. You're on TV, dude. Yes, he did a show on Dirty Jobs. What did he do before that? He was a fucking actor. No disrespect there, but you're an actor and TV host that went around to a bunch of jobs and spent a day each doing them. You have an insight. I'm not saying you don't, but here's the problem. The people that you're working with, they do that all day, every day, with no end in sight. Maybe someday their kids turn 18 and then they won't have to do that anymore, but that's not really true. We live in capitalism run amok. Go read anything about the era of the steel barons and the railroad barons and shit in the 1800s. That's what we live in now. Okay, opportunity is the ability to make enough money to move up in the social structure of America. We haven't had that in decades. Okay, and the main reason is if I got any job that I could get right now and paid rent for anything worth living in, I save basically no money. If I get another person and we split an apartment, which is cheaper than a nice house to live in, I might be able to start saving something. And in 20 or 30 years, I might be able to afford my own little hovel somewhere in the ghetto. This is the majority of people in America that I'm describing now. Because it's okay. We'll have tech jobs. We don't need manufacturing here. I fucking hate liberal pissants so goddamn much. Like, what we've watched right now is basically they took over the unions and they took over the companies. And now that they control all of the unions and are running them out of business slowly, like we need fucking unions so goddamn bad it's not funny. Literally, quiet quitting or whatever and laying flat in China are both symptoms of the same problem, and it's lack of actual opportunity. Not Mike Rowe's fucking phony ass opportunity where like you can basically it costs more to do those jobs than it pays. You don't think of it that way because you don't think of things right. But like, where is that job? How much is food there? How much does it cost to find some place to live? Yeah, what are all of the other factors? Oh, you mean all of the jobs that are really available that pay anything are like in New York City? What's wrong with that? I don't know. Go look at the price of food in New York City. Go look at the price of housing in New York City. Like the amount of money that I could make doing some of these jobs in New York City would buy me opportunity and shit here in Oklahoma eventually. But again, I would have to live in like a cockroach filled hovel for probably several years just to do that. This is the state of the union, really. The state of our union is sad. That's kind of what my goal is basically never to have a real job again. I'm going to try to kind of float through life. It's my goal. I don't have much money. I don't need much money. I'd really like to get to the point where like I had a couple acres of land with some storage shit built on it and a cabin. Oh, and then go nomad. Try to figure out some sort of way to make money going nomad. It would be nice to have your own place to keep your own shit, though. I'm still back to there's an excessive opportunity. That's what Mike Rose said. Excessive opportunity. Sure doesn't fucking seem that way as anyone that tries to start a fucking business right now gets run into the ground. Sure doesn't fucking seem that way because there's nothing that I could do to make enough money to get to the point to where I wouldn't have to have a job for a corporation. This is kind of the real issue. Is like if you aren't going to work for a corporation, you're just kind of fucked in modern America. And I won't ever work for a corporation. Not ever again. I'll work for a mom and pop of some sort. I'll work for myself. You know, I won't ever fucking work for them. I think corporations should be outlawed. I know that's controversial fucking stance. But like this whole corporations are people too bullshit. This is what's destroying America. Corporations do not have the rights of people. They just don't. They're corporations. They're different. Now that they are being treated as people, fuck. I'm like, this is Citizens United, which we've been dealing with for a decade or more now. An overabundance of opportunity. Man, everyone in Hollywood is a fucking weasel. Like, part of this is, no one has walked a mile in anyone's shoes in the last 30 years. and micro and dirty jobs in reality was good for this country. However, all it really is like, let's go look at the people that capitalism abuses. That's really what it is. My issue is not that those people have a job and not that they're getting paid or whatever. It's basically that the company cannot exist without those people. So to some extent, it's like, I'm sorry that you've built a system that is doomed to failure, but it is. That's kind of where this is at. Is no one is going to keep doing this shit for forever. Their system is built upon having an unlimited supply of labor that will never stop working. And the thing that's happened in America is people decided to stop. People got tired, you know? And this is where you're going to start seeing them crack the fucking whip and shit because these people have picked a fight with China and Russia. And they're counting on that as being like the whip to get you people moving, I think. Between that and keep you scared to keep them in office, that's what they want. They want another 10 or 20 years of COVID. We won't recognize this fucking country after that. I don't recognize this country after 2 years of Biden. I don't know what to do. And it seems like the thing to do if you don't know what to do is to sit on your hands right now. And I will also add that if you are having trouble with anything food wise, there's plenty of government programs out there. Go take advantage of that shit. Milk them into the fucking ground. Might as well. I personally am not, but if you need to, I would definitely do that. For myself, mm, I'm picky about food. And it's not because I don't want to eat things or whatever. It's because I used to be 630 pounds and I have to really watch what I eat, otherwise, I'll gain weight. And a lot of the things that they give out at those places are basically just carbs. So it doesn't do me any good at all. And this is kind of the reality. The poor food place gives out food that makes you 600 pounds and die. This is sure, we don't live in a fucking Nazi eugenics experiment. 100% not. Like the Democrats are fucking Nazis. They are. Look at what they do. Look at how they act. Look at everything. It's becoming more fucking obvious every goddamn day. We live in some sort of a fucking one party state now, and it's becoming more that way every day. I hope the election goes our way. I've been watching Glenn Beck, and I kind of agree with him that like this is a toss up. There's no telling as to how this goes. And my thing is, this one is a toss up. If we don't start going back the other direction now, nothing is ever gonna fucking turn us. So we're headed for fucking communism quickly because of the young people. I don't think that's true, man. Like honestly, I think what we have here's there's a whole bunch of like the Republicans are pieces of shit And they sold us out to the Democrats decades ago. That's clear. That's clear. They've been in league with the Democrats for decades. I think basically ever since Nixon left office, the Republicans and Democrats have been in league. Maybe you could make an argument about Reagan. But I think Reagan was kind of like Trump in that he was an outsider. He came and stirred things up, and he had an effect on politics in this country that they still wish he hadn't had. You know how much sooner this shit would have happened if Reagan hadn't come in the 80s? I mentioned Bush in the 2000s, too. I think we're ripe to see that happen again right now. We're going to get an ultra conservative, and they're not going to make things better. That's my prediction. My prediction is that we get Bush to replace the Obama that is fucking Biden. If the only thing that would prevent that from happening, I think, is Donald Trump. 'Cause he's, you can say a lot of things about him. He's not with the Republican elite. He's not with the Democrat elite. He he's hated by everybody. That's the thing is, I don't necessarily love Trump. I just fucking don't trust anybody anymore. And Trump says shit that I like. This is kind of in a nutshell why I, you know, intend to vote for Trump if he runs. With this midterm bullshit, I just want a speed bump put in place so that there's not more craziness. We've had 2 years of absolute and utter fucking lunacy, and it's only going to get worse. Like, this is the thing, is if they win this one, get ready for Clown Town. If they win the next two, oh, get ready for Clown World. We're already entering it, and Jesus fucking Christ. If they win the next election, they will have all three, the Senate, the House, and the presidency. They can do pretty much whatever they want. The only thing they won't have is the court, and they will rapidly change that. There's ways they could do it. I honestly think that they've probably already killed Supreme Court justices. It wouldn't be that difficult to do. They're little old people that, live in normal homes. There's an overabundance of opportunity in America that's not being taken up. You mean there's a whole bunch of shitty jobs that nobody wants to do? Yeah, there's that. And the other thing that we need to examine here is, what is the cause of that? Why does no one want to do that job? It doesn't pay enough to deal with the bullshit that it has, and or it isn't a real job. And what I mean by that is, you're doing something for a corporation that has received funding from the government in some way because it was too big to fail. So, does anyone buy your company's product? Not really. Why do you exist? Oh, well, because the executives are still getting bonuses. That makes sense. Have you gotten a raise in the last 10 years? No. These are the jobs I'm talking about. These are the jobs that Mike Rowe is saying that you should go and fucking get. Jobs that will fire you before you get to the age of retirement because it's cheaper for them if you don't fucking reach retirement. And 1,000 other things. I could go off on a fucking rant about this for 10 years. You know? Go work for anybody ever. They're in it to fuck you. They're in it to pay you as little as they can possibly pay you and not have you bitch. Like, the minimum wage shit is a completely legit gripe because of everything that I'm talking about. It's not that we have a minimum wage issue, it's that we have a crony capitalism, employers run amok issue. And people are trying to fix it with the minimum wage, and that ain't gonna fix it. Like, all that does is make our money worth less, which they're also doing in about a billion other ways too, so it really doesn't matter there either. Not to mention that now we are in de-dollarization. We are, you know, we're going through many of the things that we've been talking about for the last several years. If you're not preparing now, I don't think you ever will. And I'm not saying Mad Max biker gangs and shit are gonna come murder you in your town or whatever, and like the world's ending and yada yada. No. What I am saying is things change on this planet pretty rapidly sometimes. And we've been through a long lull in between news events, basically. The history books are going to look at our era of history and they're going to record the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Vietnam War, probably something about the 80s with Reagan. And like you could take your pick of things there, but whether it's him winning in the upset or Iran Contra or whatever, you could pick several things, right? And then, 9/11, the wars that followed it, and now this shit. It's all people are going to remember. No one's even going to remember that, like, we were here, we were free, and they fucking killed us all so that they could be overlords, because that's where this is headed. Like, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, and all that shit, those are not good people. I severely, like, worry about the future of anyone who doesn't make billions of dollars. I know this one's been kind of dark, and like it's me whining about the job market, but it's not your typical whine about the job market. I'm not saying, oh, poor me, I can't find a job. I'm saying flat out, none of the jobs that are available pay enough to provide enough opportunity to make them worth the effort. And as such, why participate in a system that is broken to the level that it has government bailouts, crony capitalism? Like, you're not allowed to succeed in America anymore. If you do succeed, you're going to be Elon Musk and everyone's going to hate you. I think that's interesting too. How basically they don't like competition. They really don't like new technologies that, might disrupt their shit. And that's all of Elon Musk's shit is disruptive tech. They don't like it. And like I think this is why that whole kerfuffle of him buying Twitter was so nuts. Because like in reality, they're at war, really. There's like billionaire clans at war. Well, I'll leave you on that thought. Tell me what you think. Am I right? I'll see you guys later.